relax and watch TV for the night or whatever. Whereas when you don't have that opportunity because you're just on the highest vibrational frequency because you're drinking basically liquid sunshine, because when the sunshine goes in those plants and then you juice them and they go right into your cells, you have a higher energy in that sense. So your being has the time to tell you, I have this sadness in my heart. I have actually this anger, and you feel it. So when you're forced to feel it, you get to process it. So you can either freak out and then go to your craving and forget about it, suppress it. But if you don't and you stick with it, you have to face it. And you have to either process it, express it, do something about it for you to actually release it. And that's what this journey has been. That's a big part of this journey lately, especially now that I'm aware of that.
So you're telling me that going out and eating food instead of doing my emotions, instead of facing my stuff, eating food to numb myself isn't gonna really do anything for me except keep it buried.
It's gonna suppress it.
Suppress it.
And then it's like every time you do it, it's like putting more sand, the shovel on top. You're just burying it deeper and deeper and deeper. Whereas when you're cleansing, you're kind of taking off those layers, going deeper the other way, undigging, you know? So it's not like you can go from like being dirty to like not eating well to being perfect and just thinking like you'll dig everything off in one scoop. You gotta dig whichever way you're going. You're kind of slowly covering, suppressing, or you're slowly uncovering and releasing.
Right. And I feel like the longer that you go on these raw food journeys, like you were just saying, like the more that we go out and eat these foods for emotional reasons, as a crutch, right? The more we do that, the longer that we do it, the more aware we are of it. So don't get down on yourselves. Just be aware of what's going on, and know that you're not always going to be you're not going to follow your habitual instincts. You know, you're not going to always just do these things. You're gonna, short-term gratification is like here, but when you do things, when you go past that hump, it's always like, wow, you feel so good, and then you go to the next level, and then and then it comes up again. You just got to keep going to that next level. You know what I mean? Because it's always like the short-term gratification. In my experience, I don't know about you, Kuba, but
it's the same.
It's never really got me anywhere in my life. It's always been like, it's got me either, it's never got me anywhere good that I truly wanted, not in my the true essence of what I'm about, you know what I mean? But
yeah, I don't feel like it's true pleasure. It's just a temporary, like you said, a temporary gratification, and then after you often feel worse or not really good about it, or at least it doesn't help with your enlightenment, that's for sure. It just helps you realize, maybe if it's something you really want to break free from, but you fall back in it and you're just like, why does it keep happening? It makes you realize maybe that it's not for you. You feel the pain. You're like, I don't want to drink, and then you get drunk and you feel miserable, and it makes you realize you don't want that. But it's just like, how long do you want to keep doing that? Eventually you want to break free. And that's what I want to do. Like, I want to be free, so free in my being that I'm not tied down to any of that stuff. And where my pleasure is a true pleasure, like anything else in nature, that just living naturally, that's a true pleasure. Like, look at the birds having fun from the morning. They wake up with the sun. They're not like, oh, I gotta wake up and face the day. No, it's like they're just so in tune and harmony with nature, and that's how we're designed to live. So why would I want that temporary gratification that's just gonna slow me down? But like Kyle said, doesn't mean you have to be hard on yourself. You just have to pay attention and keep understanding. And as you go, if you look at the progress you made, you realize, okay, I stumbled, I fell, I went back and ate some cooked food. But like a year ago, I was eating pizza and drinking, and like, wow, I made it so far. I'm gonna keep going.
It's a blessing in disguise, believe it or not. Once more years go by,
Yeah, and I realized that's why I'm so much more patient with myself. Like now, last month I had a couple of cravings and slip-ups because I was working hard on the computer, not getting enough sunshine and nature time, and sometimes I would have some cravings, and I gave in to some like quinoa kind of things, and I was just kind of like laughing at myself that like, wow, I remember before the solid food vacation where I was like, oh, tomorrow I'm gonna start December 1st the orange juice thing, and I called the sushi place and I ordered a bunch of sushi and just binged on that. So I'm just like, okay, now it's like I have some quinoa. It's like so much progress since before, you know?
Steps.
That's
great.
like,
oh my gosh.
One year maybe you binge on pizza, next year you binge on just like one type of sweet potato, next year you binge on like a heavy fat avocado raw meal.
Yep.
But you realize like how much progress you're making. And then next time you're like, oh no, I binged on these delicious mangoes. I ate too many mangoes.
Exactly. It's the importance of reflection in our today's life.
Reflection.
So many people don't meditate or even have time to just sit back and reflect, and it's crucial.
I learned that from, I think it's a Buddhist teaching, just like at the end of the night to take a little 10 minutes and just reflect on the day. Just think about your day and maybe see points where you could have been like, okay, I could have done this better. That helps you realize and prepares you for the next day to be even better.
Right. It's like when the common man in this day and age is so caught up in working his 9 to 5 and his other 2 jobs and his whatever else and just the complexity of life and the kids and this and that, and it's like it's hard. I feel like it's really easy when you don't take the time to reflect, meditate, do some sound healing, go into nature, whatever it is, yoga, anything. When you don't find the time to do any of these things, I feel like it's a lot easier to have your attention on the negative stuff. But when you're able to reflect, you pull back, and like they say, like where your attention goes, energy flows. So if you're always focusing on the negative and all that, you're not going to be able to see the sunlight. You know what I mean? So that's kind of a double tangent there, but we got to make the time. I guess that's my point, is we got to make the time to pull back and reflect so that we can put our attention on what really matters. The love, the light, this amazing body we have, all these cells working together, this divine being that we were created somehow, and we're here in this living movie, and we got to do the best we can, because every moment's a gift. Every moment that we're alive, and
it's actually incredible.
So I get a little heavy on the spiritual part on my videos, so on my channel, so I know he does too. I've only seen a couple of his videos, but that's why I love this guy.
I got into spirituality first. I was 17 when I got into it, and then I always loved it and was fascinated by it, but I never really understood how to live it. I was like, do I have to go to a cave or into the wilderness for 40 days to really get on that level? But then at 27, 10 years later, I actually awakened to how to live it, to this lifestyle, realizing, whoa, connecting to nature is not just going outside in nature. It's actually realizing that we are nature, so everything that we put inside of ourselves, if it comes from nature, that's when you really get connected. And that's what spirituality is. It's like the physical is a part of the spiritual, because we're using this vessel to feel our being. And when we're eating the fruits and the vegetables and the plants that are in their natural form, straight off the tree, we're basically, like I mentioned before, we're getting that sunlight energy, and it just changes our being. Like, I feel like a cloud lifted off my mind. I felt like lighter in my spirit, and I just felt more present, easier to be more present. And I admit that it was not just the diet, it was the diet with the meditation practice coming together.
It's huge.
Yeah. Before, I would do a lot of sport. I would be into spirituality, so I'd do sport and I would go into nature a lot, but I was eating garbage. I had no idea that the garbage was just blocking me up, keeping me shy and timid, keeping me like not really living my true potential, keeping me doing what society kind of shaped me to do instead of doing what I love, Like, here I am in my early 30s, now I'm finally getting into true healing doing this Dr. Robert Morris training because I love it. It's my passion. I always loved science and chemistry, and now I get to do it on a level where I get to help people, and it's just incredible. And I'm not going to be down on myself like, oh no, I wish I found this earlier in life. I'm just embracing where I am now and just going to keep going forward, because I realize I'm an eternal being anyway, so time doesn't really matter. So wherever we are, might as well just start now.
Exactly. That's beautiful, man. I 43 minutes, so maybe we should wrap it up pretty soon. Yeah, I feel like I want to mention this, and I'm sure you'll relate. The spiritual aspect and the mental and the physical, all this stuff, when you do a long solid food vacation, it's going to clear away the debris that is the blockages that are in the way of your mental stuff, and on some levels it's going to open you up spiritually. I'm not saying you have to be 100% raw foodist in order to be spiritual. All I'm saying is to be in touch at a different level, and you can only experience this. So you guys who are going to be intellectual and try to this stuff is not for you. It's about simplicity, right? So I just want to say that
you could understand it, but it'll take a long.
You got to experience it. When you do the solid food vacation, it's going to clear the crap from your body, and it's going to get you to a really clear place mentally and spiritually. But you got to do the work, though. You can't just do the health, the perfect diet, the fasting and all that, and not do the inner work, whatever that is for us, whatever it is for you guys. Wouldn't you agree? Like
I agree. That's why there's levels to this healing where I feel like done a lot of the physical and I couldn't figure it out, and the juice feast, like I said, helped me get to the fully raw.
Yeah.
And then I just later in my journey realized, like, wow, I need to work on the emotional side, because really it's just all connected and it's one. So I realized, okay, I'm starting to express myself more, open up my throat chakra, tell people how I feel more, open up my heart. And it takes like those kind of steps, just kind of stepping out of your comfort zone a bit to break those barriers as you're doing the physical work, because the physical allows energy to flow better, and when the energy flows you can tap into it,
right,
and work on the emotion and just start expressing stuff that you might have been suppressing.
Right. And one thing is that when you're cleaning house on the physical level, all your memories and all your emotions that you dealt with, or it's usually the ones you didn't deal with, they're gonna show themselves as you're replacing your system with healthier cells, with true alkalinity, with nourishment, with electrical foods, the fruits and the vegetables. When you're doing that, this stuff is gonna come to surface. If you have any deep-seated trauma or just any type of whatever mental stuff, it's gonna come up. So I just have to keep stressing that it's better to face it while we can and get it, do the work that is required so that we can start enjoying our life like tomorrow.
And I still feel like I got a lot of work. Like I got a lot, not to discourage anyone who's just starting, but I have a lot of work to do.
Yeah.
But it's only because I realized like deeper levels. That's right. One of my goals this summer is to do the 10-day Vipassana, just silent meditation, and I just really want to just sit in silence and just. It's wow for the people who have done it.
Be awesome.
I've canceled many times. I really want to do it this summer because I feel ready in my being.
Oh wow! Yeah,
Then you just like
hardcore.
That's when you're like, you're not distracted by words and sounds. You're just really tuning into what's going on inside.
It's hardcore.
That's like next levels,
That's cool, man. Yeah, so I would just suggest doing the cleaning the house and cleaning this house. Cleaning that at the same time, Cleaning it at the same time. Every day it's like, wow, I made another day on the solid food vacation or another day raw or whatever it is, and I did my meditation today, and all the positive things you did that day, just be aware of that. Focus on that. Keep your attention on that. You know what I mean? I think we should wrap it up. Anything last?
All that work complements each other. Yeah. I would say